bowling fans, we're back again. Motion Plus Lanes and Cudahy is the site this year for the 2014 Top Gun Invitational. Chad, we've invited a lot of the best high school players in the area to come down today and bowl, and you've seen a lot of them scouting talent out for your team here at UWM. Good bowlers all the way around, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I don't think you can pick a favorite out among the 4 men, the 4 women. A lot of great bowlers, a lot of great shot making, old, young, different talents, different skill sets. It's going to be a great tournament.
Same format we have for the action singles that you see here for Motion Plus Lanes. All 4 bowlers bowling 1 game at the same time to determine who's going to be in first place through 4th place. Lots of good prizes for these young bowlers that went out there. Top prize today, taking home a DVA bowling ball, championship medal, and a $50 Visa gift card, courtesy of Motion Plus Lanes. There's a lot of action on the lanes. We're not going to wait any longer to get back to it. We're going to take a short break. Join Chad Source and I back from Motion Plus Lanes for the Girls Championship for the Top Gun Invitational.
Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com. Of course, I see your High Five gear does a lot with our U Challenge Series kids, and you've been wearing this power sleeve since it came out. Tell the fans what it does for you.
Well, it's something we asked for, too. You know, we bowl a lot of games, and over time, obviously, I put in tens and, 20s of thousands or hundreds of thousands. I don't know how many games, but, so it's something to help keep everything together on these long days where, we're bowling a lot. We're bowling a lot of different formats. It keeps everything tight around here, the elbow and that, so I don't have any pain there, and then it's breathable. It's great, so it keeps it warm when it's cold out, and it breathes when it's hot.
Yeah. So make sure you go to highfivegear.com and check out those power sleeves, because they can customize them any way you want, too. They're awesome. I have one of them myself.
Hi, I'm Jerry from FM Auto. Is your car ready for winter? If not, bring your vehicle in and have my staff here look your vehicle over, make sure you're not going to get caught out in the cold. Set up your appointment today at 414-455-8750. You won't be disappointed.
Well, proprietor here at Motion Plus Lanes, Kerry Catania, shaking his little tail feather there, getting the ladies started here for the Girls Championship for the 2014 Top Gun Invitational. Little flex out of Kerry there. Had a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness the day before we taped this Top Gun, so you can see he's still dressed in pink. Usually he's the man in black, and now we got the jokiness out of the side, Chad. Now we got the serious competition starting, and one serious competitor here with Stephanie Schwartz.
Well, yeah, I think, you look at your telecast, and Stephanie's always going to be one of the finalists for it, and you can see right away on her first shot why.
Absolutely 10 flush, nothing left on the pin deck, can't beat that. Once again, a format similar to what you've seen here in the past for our action shootout tournaments. All 4 bowlers bowling 1 game at the same time for 1st through 4th place. Top prize today, winner's going to take home a DV8 bowling ball and a $50 Visa gift card, courtesy to our friends here at Motion Plus Lanes. And Brittany Burgess, boy, she finished in 2nd place with the Top Gun last year, and not the start she's looking for with a picket fence.
Well, no, and you could definitely see the lane pattern come into play there, where they're bowling on the Kegel beaten path, and this is a pattern that takes away the entire track area, so you got to be either inside of it or outside of it. And Brittany right there tried to play it right over 2nd arrow, and it just skidded all the way to the 3-6 pocket.
And you've seen it in the past here on 9 and 10 at Motion Plus Lanes. Lane 9 usually does play a little bit tighter than Lane 10 does, and a great shot there by Brittany to cover it up.
Yeah, I thought she approached that great. She slowed down just a little bit and let the ball take out all 4 pins.
Maddie Brandos, you saw her earlier in the year, the High School Mixed Doubles Classic from Pioneer Bowl. Finished in 3rd place in that event from West Dallas Central. Bowl with Freddie Peterson as her doubles partner. And Maddie gets up all the face to pocket up nightly and a ring 10. Nothing to be ashamed of for your first ball in the lanes today.
No, it was a great shot out of Maddie's hand. You're going to leave those corner pins regardless if you're left-handed, right-handed. It was just a really good shot. You can see the 6 pin just whip right around the 10 pin. So good looking shot right there.
So gonna switch over to that polyester spear ball, move yourself a little bit farther left on the approach, and that's gonna need some help to skid, Chad.
Oh boy, it looked like she actually was a little too square with the lane on that one. Didn't have enough angle, passed it up. Happens to all of us.
And it's easy to be a little bit tense on that first shot there on TV, especially those corner pins. And boy, we saw those corner pins bite West Dallas Central in the Midwinter Classic. I'm sure Courtney's not going to have a problem leaving a corner pin on that shot, though.
No, just a little bit high flush right there. You could see the 4-9 go down pretty late. Sometimes on lanes like this, that's exactly a preferred line where you just stuff it right in the hole. You can see it right there. Nice shot.
So our last telecast with the action alternative shot doubles saw some real high rate players like Eric Fritton and Chad Clausen. They were playing the lanes real straight as well. Stephanie Schwartz looking to get that ball down there.
Oh!
Well, usually the 4-pin doesn't slide that far before falling over, but maybe a little sandpaper to the bottom of that pin before it gets back
There
on
we
the
go,
rack.
yep.
Sometimes they get a little carried down the lanes as they practice, and it gets on the bottom of the pins. Next thing you know, you hit the pin in that perfect spot. It just kind of slides over, but Steph gets the break and gets it to fall. Brittany looking to bounce back here off that picket fence and comes a little high. The overcorrection, Chad.
Yeah, it looked like it just took off a little bit left off of her hand. I mean, a really good physical game by Brittany. I mean, really solid at the line, good follow through. The ball just took off on her and just went a little high, left her at 310.
So once again, a lot of these players switch to polyester equipment in order to make their spares, and that looks like it's going to be a good fit.
There we go.
Perfect conversion. Keeps yourself clean through 2 frames, and a lot of the qualifying scores on this beaten path for the girls. Every round was an eliminator round, so the first round was 2 games. Took about 180 average each round to make it to the next round, but something tells me 180 or 190 is not going to win on TV.
I don't think
today.
so either. Not with these 4 bowlers we see right here. There's just too much firepower to think a score like that is going to hold up.
And Maddie, wow, she really went direct on that shot, and yeah, paid the full price there with the 4.67.
It's not a bad idea that she had right there of moving a little bit further out, squaring up. You could see her right foot go ahead of her left. It just, she pointed it a hair too much and it went high on her.
So best thing to do here, take 2. I mean, every pin counts. These bowlers are bowling 1 game for 1st through 4th place today. So you want to make sure you might lose a pin or 2 now, and it'll cost you 1 or 2 spots in the standings later. I want to thank our friends at FM Auto, all support they've given with our youth bowling here at Motion Plus Lanes this season. They've been a great sponsor for us, and they've done some great work on mine and my wife's car lately. And once again, that direct shot on lane 10, we know it's going to hook a little bit earlier, and these ladies going right through the nose on it.
And we'll have to see the next time they come over on this lane if they make an adjustment and don't point it as much and just let the ball work for them and be able to knock over the pins.
Yeah, a little bit of a break just taking the 10 pin out there, but anytime you leave 2 pins next to each other, always a chance for that chop. See, she moves a little bit to the left end of the approach. Gets it off her hand. She's a little worried about that one.
Oh boy.
And tried to avoid the chop, went behind it, and not away. We want to get to our first commercial break of the day. Join us back for more of our Girls Championship for the 2014 Top Gun Invitational in just a moment.
Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mountain Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee. It's never too early to think spring at Pioneer Bowl in Richfield. Sign up for softball, volleyball, kickball, and bowling leagues. Get your info at pioneerbowlsports.com.
Two frames in the books here at Motion Plus Lanes. Stephanie Schwartz heading up on frame number 3, working on a double, Chad.
Yep, and she's a little further inside if you notice than everybody else, and I think right now that's why she's having a little bit of success. Great shot by Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie Schwartz, Junior Team USA member, earned her spot in Las Vegas back in January. So I know they haven't picked any of the summer competitions yet, what team members are going to be getting the Lee Evans Tournament of Americas and things of that nature, but something tells me we might see Stephanie on 1 or 2 of those squads.
And it's always just a great honor to be picked for it. She bowled awesome out at trials and definitely deserved it. Brittany with a great shot right there. Nice adjustment.
Yeah, I think she moved, as you said, tighten everything up. Don't get that break point out too far to the right. And if you stay firm with your speed, that ball's going to face the pocket properly. And she had no problem taking all 10 pins back there. Well, here's the bowler that's got to get herself off the schneid right now.
Right.
2 opens on the board here for Maddie Brandos. Not looking for that buzzard. You don't want that 3 in a row, and a much better shot off her hand.
There we go.
prettiest shot you can throw, I think, when you part that 8 and 9 pin with the bowling ball.
Well, and that's a big shot for Maddie right there, just to be able to relax and go, okay, now I found something, and hopefully she's got a little bit of momentum now.
And Courtney Ermish wasted no time getting any approach from McGuanago High School. She likes the center too. Her and Billy Hibbert paired up for the FM Auto Youth Challenge Series doubles earlier this season. Got themselves a 3rd place finish in that. And she once again comes a little bit high and leaves the 3-6-10.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Courtney's got to take a look at where the other 3 girls are playing right now and probably bump into their line a little bit or change equipment, do something that's going to give her a little different look.
Yeah, she's just the one playing it straightest through the front part of the lane, but she's also a little bit farther to the right than the other young ladies. And no problem picking that spare up. Learned her lesson from that 3-6
Right,
in the
yeah,
second
exactly.
frame. So, well, you see there right now, Stephanie Schwartz, 22-pin lead over her closest competitor. Once again, 1st through 4th place determined by their scores this game. Looking for 4 in a row. Nice out of the hand, and 10 back.
All 4 shots that Steph has played have been just identical, and she's definitely in a groove right now, and we'll see if she can continue it.
3 of these 4 bowlers you're seeing today, pretty good chance of seeing them for the high school state championship singles finals up in Green Bay later on. And the only didn't make it, Maddie Brando, she's coming back from an injury, so she didn't have enough games in district competition to qualify for the state singles event, but her West Dallas Central team's been strong all year, and we saw their team in the Midwinter Classic. Boy, if I can trip 8s and 9s like that, Chad, I could have maybe make another comeback for the PBA Regional Tour or something.
I don't even know what took out the 9-pin there. Maybe we'll be able to see it here.
Let's take a look. It was the
head pin. Wow,
yeah,
nice break right there for Brittany.
Spinning around off the wall. So, but that shows you, these young ladies, they may not have the highest rev rates and they may have the fastest ball speed, but when you get that ball into a strong roll at the pocket, you can make those pins bounce off the wall and bounce off each other. Maddie, that's just, wow, I thought that was going to be a little bit higher in the pocket than it actually was.
I think she caught the oil line and it just right to the pocket was a frozen rope.
Yeah, and follows that opening 2 open frames with a big double to get herself back in the position where if Stephanie Schwartz can make a mistake, she might have a chance here, and that is a just vicious ringing 10-pin there for Courtney.
Well, and I think, well, that was a good adjustment, and off her hand, you knew it was going to be in the pocket. It didn't have a chance to roll up, and you'll watch it deflect, so I don't know if that's going to work for Courtney too well.
So all she can do now is shake it off, move to that left side of the approach to the polyester ball. Looks like we're going to get herself a spare this time going into the commercial break. 4 frames in the books here from Motion Plus Lanes for the 2014 Top Gun Invitational. Join Chad Source and I back in just a moment for the rest of this match.
With 24 state-of-the-art lanes, plenty of pool tables and dartboards, and great food and drink at Sporty's Bar and Grill, Sunset Bowl in Waukesha is your #1 place for fun. Join Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Dwight Albrecht, and Phil Brilo as they discuss the PBA Tour and highlights of local bowling on the Spare Time Bowling Show, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP.
Four frames in the book here from Motion Plus Lanes for the 2014 Top Gun Invitational. Stephanie Schwartz with a big lead over her 3 competitors. Looking to hold on to first place for that DV8 bowling ball, championship medal, and $50 Visa gift card courtesy of Motion Plus Lanes. And Chad, she's been nothing but perfect so far.
Yeah, all she's got to do is just keep throwing the ball the same way she is, and right there is another one. Oh, that was a pretty rotten break right there.
Yeah, those are the tough ones to take. When you watch that 4-pin, or for us lefties, or 6-pin for righties, hit the 10 on the way around and just not knock it over. And gave it a couple of good pops there. But these nice flat bottom pins they have here at Motion Plus Lanes. Kerry Catania taking care of things here. Always make sure everything's in great shape. His wife Jeannie, no problem covering up a single pin there for Stephanie. Know she wanted to thank her family for all the help with getting her around this year, and I know when she was out in Vegas making Junior Team USA, her brother David bowled as well. He had a pretty decent week himself, didn't quite make Junior Team USA, but he's having a pretty good year for the Robert Morris program. You've seen him a few times in collegiate competition.
Yep. They are always at the top 5 in the country.
And speaking of top 5, Brittany Burgess making her way into the top 2 here with a 3-bagger after a couple opening spares and cutting Stephanie's lead down to 11 pins. Can't have it face up any better. Her dad, Brian Burgess, we know, a great bowler in Wisconsin in the Fond du Lac area. His team holds the all-time 5-man team game record with Pepper Nix up in the Fond du Lac area. I believe it was 1391 was their team game. So
that's a lot of pins.
Yes, it is. Almost a national record as well. And Maddie, once again, we say a little problem when the bowler gets the ball 2 or 3 boards too far right on lane 9 here at Motion Plus. It's not your house shot. Ain't coming back.
And definitely with beaten path, there is a very obvious out of bounds area when you get the ball right at all. And that's what we saw from Maddie right there.
So we've got Maddie coming up to get that spare and gets it, not the perfect way to do it, but pretty darn close.
Whatever knocks them over, it really doesn't matter, Phil.
So no problem there. Trying to keep herself in 3rd place, but Courtney here working on a spare. Hasn't struck yet. Oh, she had an opening frame strike, looking for her 2nd strike of the day on TV, and we know she can throw them, and tomahawks that 7 out.
Just a little higher than the last one, and that I think is what's going to save Courtney right now, is if she can keep throwing them like that.
So right now, basically, field's splitting apart here a little bit. Maddie and Courtney over 40 pins behind Stephanie. Brittany Burgess ran Stephanie's tail, but Stephanie bounces back with a strike, and well, she can't lose the lead so far.
No, and if she keeps throwing the ball like that, it's going to be tough for anybody to catch her.
So watch that replay here. Watch that ball just enter the pocket. Not much deflection. 7 and 10 go out. Somebody like me, I'd leave that 7-10, no doubt. I'd probably have problems getting the 5 out. Let's be honest. Brittany working on 3 in a row, looking for. Can we say it? Is it back? We're gonna bring back Hambone for one time. We're bringing back Hambone for one. So I know our buddy Joe Serrar helps us with commentary on these Time Warner Cable Sports Channel shows. Joey's probably gonna slap me around a little bit when he sees me next time for the Hambone. But I always enjoyed Rob Stone when he was on the ESPN PBA shows. Let's see what Maddie can do here. She had a nice little bounce back after struggling early. Looks good out of her hand.
Oh, great shot.
Hey, we could have a beverage frame here, I think. 6 frame, everybody strikes in the frame. The house usually buys a round of beverages for the team. Of course, with Kerry Catania, your Motion Plus, always great with his bowlers. I bet you we can get a round of Pepsis for the young ladies.
There we go, sure.
Get them all here. If Courtney can throw one in the 6th as well. Pretty good out of her hand. And how about that? All right, Kerry. Set them up on the bar for the young ladies. Pepsis all around. So Pepsi, of course, a big sponsor of youth bowling.
Absolutely, they have been for years now, yes.
Pepsi State Championships all the time. I know they're doing, as this airs, they're doing the sectional qualifying. Kids trying to make Pepsi State. And I know there's usually a $1,000 scholarship in quite a few divisions of competition that they have. So I want to thank Pepsi for their support. And Stephanie needed a little support to get away from that Big 4 split.
Yeah, it was the first shot that it looked like her shoulder dipped a little bit, and the ball just kind of went left.
Yeah, it really
happens to everybody. Yeah.
So, best advice here, Chad, take 2 and run.
Take 2, because she's on a strike, so 2 equals 4.
Yeah, you don't want to lose any pin count here. No problem, and no lucky bounce either, unfortunately, for her. But right now, that's definitely going to put Brittany in the lead by at least 13 pins, and with another strike to expand it out to 5 in a row. Could take it out to 23. Action Heating and Cooling, once again, another great sponsor of all our events here at Motion Plus Lanes, and our team tournament happening April 19th. You can't get in anymore, ladies and gentlemen. It's a sellout almost 2 months in advance. And wow, how about that for tripping the 4-7 out?
Wow, a little high, and yeah, sometimes pin action is just really strange, and the 4-7 fell very late in tandem.
It seems to me Brittany's making little moves to the left, but she may want to consider a big move going into these last 3 frames. Last thing I do is get a little ball through the face like Stephanie just did and maybe hand her back the lead.
Oh, especially on the run that she's on right now. That would absolutely kill any momentum.
And once again, a little fast out of her hand that time and a little fast to the pocket.
That's what it looked like to me as well, Phil. Still a good shot. Just, sometimes these lane patterns with the equipment that we throw today are very speed sensitive.
Yeah, and just not enough roll on that ball. You can see the ball almost made its way to the 10 pin right there. Still counts no matter how you knock all 10 down.
That's
if the ball hits the 10 pin after it hits the pocket, it would have counted. And a great cover there, bouncing back off that first frame miss of a 10 pin for Maddie. Oh, right now, Courtney here, she's got to extend this out to a turkey to have any chance of catching Stephanie or Brittany in the 7th frame. Courtney's strong softball player. I know she's all ready for the softball season to start. Great strike. Get us in the last commercial break for a girls' championship here for the Top Gun Invitational. Chad Sorcerer, keep cutting off, and I will be back in just a moment for the rest of this match, so make sure you stay tuned.
Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com.
Well, starting off the bowling today here at Motion Plus Lanes for the Top Gun Invitational. 32 boys and 32 girls in here, and you can see all the parents and fans that were here watching competition goes on. We're down to our final 4 in each division, and still a pretty good sized crowd here, Chad.
Oh, I was just going to say it. What a fantastic crowd came out today. Always love it when they come out and support the junior bowlers.
And great viewing here at Motion Plus Lanes. You got that almost stadium type seating with that high set tier or low set tier area. High area for the bowlers to view everything, and another shot there for Stephanie bouncing back off that big 4.
Yeah, very nice shot by Stephanie. That's the best way you can come back after an open like that. Throw a really good quality shot and just let the pins fall.
Brittany Burgess looking for 6 in a row if she can carry this one, and boy, how about that again? You just think after she trips out a 9-pin last time on that lane, she'd make a little bigger move. Maybe she did, but that ball seemed to face even earlier, and lucky to take the 4.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you go, hey, I'm tripping them high. I'm going to keep throwing it there, but then sooner or later you got to think that you're going to go just that little bit extra high and leave something ugly.
Well, definitely a 2-bowler field right now for first and second. Maddie trying to keep her hat in the ring if she can get a strike
There we
here.
go.
You never know what the other bowlers might do with 2 frames to go, but when you're still down a bunch of pins, yeah, right now down 60.
But I do like, you see Maddie, she's down a little bit in the match, but she hasn't given up. She's up there throwing and making good shots right now, and you really like that.
Well, Courtney definitely is this 4th one in a row here in order to keep pace with the other 2 ladies, and not quite with that 3-6, and once again, she goes a little more direct on 10 and just goes right through the nose.
Yep, she pointed that one just a little bit more. You can see it jumping up right there and goes through. Lucky that that's all she really left.
So she's left this once earlier in the match. 2nd frame, slid behind the 3-pin and only took the 6. I don't think she's thinking about that right now. She's just worried about getting the 2. Right on that 3, and unfortunately right on that 3-pin.
Right on the 3-pin, yeah.
And that's always just demoralizing. Now you pretty much know you're out of the hunt. You're just trying to keep yourself out of 4th place right now.
Right.
Stephanie Schwartz not out of this match yet, but she does need the strike here to keep the pressure on Brittany. And just flush.
Great shot right there by Stephanie.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Chad, UWM could use, let's see, Brittany Burgess. I believe she's a senior. I know Stephanie's a senior. Gonna do a little recruiting after this match.
Oh, absolutely. You always want to point out the pluses of the school. We have a great school, a lot of great programs, and our bowling program isn't too bad either.
Exactly. Brittany Burgess looking to improve on that 2nd place finish in the Top Gun last year. Another strike to keep that lead at 23 pins and, 33 pins now. We're taking that string out to 7 in a row. And it's not over yet. Stephanie Schwartz can strike out for 245, and if Brittany opens, that's going to leave her in the 230s. So Stephanie is definitely going to have to get at least the first 2 in the 10th to put any pressure on Brittany at all. Maddie bounces back, and ooh, a little hang there.
Well, and you have pointed out a few times this telecast that lane 9 does hang just a little bit more, and you could see it pushing.
So, without a conversion here, it's pretty much going to lock up 4th place for Maddie. But she'll be taking home an Eileen's Bowling Buddy. Great training aid to help get you loose before tournaments, league play, help you get your swing grooved a little bit better, and you can work on your game in the privacy of your own home or on the lanes. And can't quite get it far enough left, Chad.
Nope, and I mean, it's a washout, and there's no real easy way to make that. And even sometimes when you throw it the perfect way, you manage to wrap the head pin around the 7 or the 10, depending on what side you're shooting at. So it's tough to make.
Well, Courtney here pretty much has third place locked up after chopping that spare last frame. Doesn't really have a chance at the top two, but she's going to go out with a fight, no doubt
Absolutely.
about that.
That was a great shot by Courtney.
So her mom and dad, Dawn and Mike, good bowlers in their own right as well. Do a lot of their bowling at Alpine Lanes in Muskego. Lloyd McKendall, great proprietor down there. Stephanie wasting no time. She knows she's got a strike here to put any pressure on Brittany, and does it so far with the first one, the 10th, but she's definitely going to need that second one as well.
Yeah, this is the key strike. I mean, obviously, you always say, well, you can't throw the second one until you throw the first one. So that was a very key setup right there for Stephanie.
So right now, if she can go strike and 8, she would have 243, and that would force, depending on the count, that Brittany would get, could force Brittany to go at least 9 spare. And another great shot by Stephanie to really almost make it a must-mark situation for Brittany.
And that's all you can really hope to do in this situation, is force your opponent to show up and do something in the 10th frame.
So she can strike here. She's going to force Brittany to get a mark and good count. And she tugged that one badly.
And knew it immediately out of her hand.
Wow. Brittany doesn't even need a mark now. If Brittany gets 7 on her first ball, she's going to finish. She could finish with 241 even with 7 on her first ball. 7 and miss. So really just jam it to the head pin right now, Brittany. You're going to be our 2014 Top Gun champ, and you're going to move up from that second place spot you finished at last year at Sherwood High School. Steph Schwartz was a third place finisher last year. So will she finish in first or second? This shot's going to tell. Looks like it's near the pocket. It's going to be enough,
8
Chad.
pins, that's all she needs.
So I think I don't know if she realized it yet or not. I don't think she did the scoring yet. I think she still. I think she thinks she still needs a mark. So we've seen bowlers miss that on the Pro Tour. You remember Don Barrett earlier this year at the PBA
That's
World
right.
Championship. Thought he won it with the second strike in the 10th, till people told him, you need really good count. You need at least 7 pins to lock it up, but no problem with the cover. Now it's official. Brittany Burgess, and I'll tell you what, you look at the Fond du Lac girls team, they placed 5 girls into our Top Gun field today from District 7 out of the 8 that were in there. So very strong team, and something tells me in the District 1 tournament state, they could see Indian Trail, they could see West Dallas Central, who Maddie Brandos bowls for. Some solid teams in Division 1. Sun Prairie out of District 4 in the Madison area. And the ball, it really doesn't matter, just keep it on the lane.
Just, yep.
254 for only her 3rd game ever on television. Not too bad for Brittany. And you know, something tells me, like I said, we could see Brittany, Stephanie, we could see Courtney, any of those 3 on the TV finals at the state tournament.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, the experience they get in your events, combined with their high school, with all the other tournaments they bowled in, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with when it comes to state weekend.
Maddie just looking to get a little pride here. Go out with a couple of strong shots in the 10th frame, and that's just left in the backswing. And that's kind of not fair to try to make now this 8 3/4 in 10.
Yeah, I'm not even sure really how you shoot at this.
You gotta try to make it like a baby split, but how do you get that pin out now that's slid over? That back pin was a 9 pin. It slid over a good 2 inches. Machine picked it up, so it has to stay where it slid to, and gave it a run. Yeah,
it's about all you can do.
Get the 2. And unfortunately for Maddie, 161 game, but really solid year this year with her team from West Dallas Central. Chris Smith, the coach of that team, and Emma Poznansky, one of her teammates. Her dad, Hank Poznansky, owns Blue Mountain Bowl, and they do a lot of the practicing there for West Dallas Central. Courtney looking to finish strong. Well, she's got 3rd place wrapped up, so we'll have some real nice prizes for the bowlers that don't finish in first today. They each get their respective medal for their finish, along with the training aid from Eileen's bowling buddy. And some entries or discounts for the Kids Bowling for Kid tournament. It's being held to benefit the Max McGee Foundation at Children's Hospital. We'll have those finals for me from Castle Lanes sometime in April on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, thanks to our friends here. Well, Chad, pretty good match for the girls. looking forward to the boys match as well. We got some real powerhouse players coming up.
Oh yeah, I mean, you called at the beginning when you said 180 made the cut and that wasn't going to do it in the finals, and we saw it. And Courtney, that's the way you wrap up a game right there with a nice solid strike.
Absolutely. She finishes with 193. 254 though by Brittany Burgess, takes the top prize home. Something tells me I may take it again in the boys final. You never know. Chad Source and I will be back from Motion Plus Lanes with that boys final in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned.
Join Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Dwight Albrecht, and Phil Brilo as they discuss the PBA Tour and highlights of local bowling on the Spare Time Bowling Show, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. Well, here again at Motion Plus Lanes, just after the Toys for Tots has been completed this year, Carrie, and another great annual event, and your bowlers definitely not the Grinches that you see on your shirt there. I mean, bigger and better than ever this past year.
Unbelievable. I mean, the excitement, you know, the 30 boxes of toys, at least I know that were donated. And definitely the money went up. The cash donations up over $10,218. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, it's just amazing the number of just good bowlers, bad bowlers, fun bowlers like we got back here that are just out having a great time and helping the kids that aren't really fortunate around Christmas time to get them gifts under their tree.
You know, especially this year, too, it just happens to be each year. You know, the kids that didn't get it, the number went up again. It was about 33,000 just in the Milwaukee area alone, and about 65,000 total in the 9-county area. So I like to say thanks to everyone who donated.
Yeah, I mean, there were big events here, donation bins all over southeastern Wisconsin, and bowlers, friends, family, everybody came out and really helped Toys for Tots meet their goals again this year, and never a time to stop for Toys for Tots. You're already playing this next year's event in December, aren't you?
Tell you what, we collect all year long any cash donations and toys. Obviously, the cash, the Marines take it out and they buy toys for those kids in that area. So once again, the first weekend, Saturday and Sunday in December, you know, get signed up. You can sign up today if you'd like.
And always check out the website at motionpluslanes.com to check out everything that's going on here. All kinds of fundraisers, whether it's Toys for Tots, breast cancer awareness, cystic fibrosis. If there's a fundraiser that needs to be done, they do it here. We're going to be back with a little more action from Motion Plus Lanes in just a moment, so make sure you stay tuned after this commercial break.
Time for the boys' championship here at Motion Plus Lanes. Kerry Catania once again pumping up the crowd. High five to the young men here to get this started. Top prize in this division. Thanks, Kerry, for the salute to the camera there. Always a good time here at Motion Plus Lanes. He's got a great youth program he's built from scratch here over the last couple of seasons. Some great coaching, and the St. Francis girls team, only been in existence for a couple of seasons, making the high school state tournament this year, and well, they couldn't do it without their help. And how about that for a start, Chad, for Cody Schmidt with the Smash 7?
That's always the way I like to start a tournament off, is throw a perfect shot and send a messenger right in front of the pin.
Oh man, watch that smash. The 4 goes right in front of the 7. 2-pin doesn't do its job either. And Cody at Elkhart Lake family is owner's an Anchor Bowl up there. Pardon me, Anchor Lanes.
Anchor Lanes, yep.
In Elkhart Lake. So, another really good team as well he bowls on. They've made the high school state tournament out of District 7. And Nick Hagen, MVP of District 1 this year for Sussex Hamilton, had the highest fill percentage. Looking to do his damage at state tournament later on, but today he's going to do some damage here at the Top Gun. Very straight player. No problem taking the 10 out.
Great follow through right there by Nick. Sets it down on the lane, gets it going down the lane, which is the important thing, and great result.
Yeah, you're going to see 3 relatively straight players on the right side of the lane today, but you get Kyle Zager out here today, and he's got that left side relatively pristine, and he likes to strap it up on the bottom of the shot. So he finished second place as a high school freshman in the state tournament a couple of years ago, where he lost to Stephanie Schwartz's brother David in the championship match at Super Bowl in Appleton. And different kind of corner pin there. And how did everything miss that 10 pin?
That's just the luck of the pin action, I guess you could say, in bowling. It's not always fair. You can see a bunch of pins that were over there, and nothing knocks it over.
Something hits it, rolls it. But I'll tell you what, you look at Cody's shot, you look at Kyle's shot, they don't get upset. they're not losing their cool. They know the focus. They can't lose it. They need to get that back out here, make the split. It's part of the game, and move on. Or to make the spare.
Especially because it's only the first frame, and if you get mad now, what's going to happen in the 7th frame, the 8th frame? So absolutely, they have to just keep their cool, keep their composure, and move on.
Well, not exactly a candidate for Rookie of the Year. They don't have that in high school bowling, but Dan Dullman out of Franklin High School, a freshman, making his mark on the Top Gun show today. And how about that for your first shot on TV ever?
Well, and I think that's got to make him feel really good right there. Being a freshman, like you said, first time on TV, go up there and throw a strike. Hey, I do belong here.
Yeah, one of his coaches, Gary Dershesky, owner of Classic Lanes Oak Creek, where the Franklin team practices, came down to help coach him and cheer him on. Lots of people here. Lori Schomer runs that program for Franklin High School. See her in the back as well. Cody looking to bounce back here and parts the 8 and the 9 nicely.
Wow, and there you could see from the front shot there just the power at the bottom of the swing, how he gets through the shot. Very, very pro-collegiate type of swinging, I think you could say, Phil.
Yeah, follow through right to just to the left of the face. Lets that shoulder drop like it's supposed to so you can swing loose from it. Let the body get out of the way of the ball. Let that ball have a nice straight swing path. Back to front. Nick, pretty similar. Doesn't quite get as much tilt to the side as Cody does and comes a little bit more straight through the ball. Once again, kicks that 10 pin.
Oh, I really like how he's projecting the ball through the heads and just getting it to face up exactly where it needs to be.
Tell you what, Nick only a junior, but something tells me with his fill percentage this year for District 1, could be a good recruit for you, Chad. I don't know. Good chance to talk to him yet?
You never know. Yeah, we've actually talked to a number of the Sussex Hamilton guys, and would love to have any of them right now. They're a great bunch of kids. Yeah, strong team. One of my favorites going to the state tournament. We had Coach Jeff Elner in the studio on the Spare Time Bowling Show on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP a couple of Sundays back. Make sure you listen to that all the way through the rest of the PBA season, high school season, and college season. We'll try to get you some results from the intercollegiate team sectionals and nationals that come along, and a great shot there by Kyle. Let's see what Dan can do here to double to get us into the commercial break, maybe. Little loose off the hand. Nice shot.
Gets that 10 out. That's the way to start your TV bowling career, with the double, and hopefully Dan can keep it up after the break and maintain the lead, and we'll be back with more of this match from Much Plus Lanes in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned.
I have a lot of viewers that ask me, why do you have so many of your tournaments at Castle Lanes? Well, Castle Lanes is a center that has an exceptional atmosphere. The charm of being in a Northwoods cabin while you bowl, an attentive staff on the lanes and in the lounge, all the big screen TVs and a free Wi-Fi hotspot, and being named in Bowler's Journal as one of the 95 places to bowl before you die, you have to bowl at Castle Lanes. That's why we love Castle Lanes, and you will too. Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com.
Nice crowd here. I see Matt Zagar looking on, his daughter next to him. Savannah Giroux, we've seen her on a couple of TV shows recently. Next to Matt. One of the contenders there for singles, I think, up at the state tournament as well for Indian Trail, and her team as well has a good chance. They led District 3A this year for the girls. Cody Schmidt, one of the big guns out of District 7, covers Washington, Ozaki, Fond du Lac, and Sheboygan counties, and a little bit of Manitowoc County as well. And I think Cody liked to cover that 10 pin with the 6.
Yeah, it's not from him making a bad shot. That was a very good ball. It just shot everything right around the 10.
Once again, he just keeps his composure, knows it's part of the game when you leave a single pin, especially a wrap 10 like that. Switch to that polyester ball, flattens out that swing, no problem.
I'm really amazed at how fast all of our finalists, the girls and the boys as well, just get up there and bowl. They don't waste any time.
Yeah, I think a lot of them mentally is if they think about the shot for too long, they kind of freeze up. And you see that with a lot of high school coaches when they're working with their bowlers. They're talking to them, and it's just like, when it's your turn to go, be ready to go. And I think they just take that all the way through the shot. You know, you'll see if somebody needs a couple extra seconds, they'll take it if it's a pressure situation. But it's early in the match, and another 10 pin here. A little different than Cody's though. Nick Ball just didn't quite get to the pocket. Not a strong roll on it at all. And I think if we get a replay here, you'll see the deflection and where the 6 just lays in that flag gutter.
Yeah, it was definitely I think you hit it right on the head. Is the ball never rolled up?
So he's going to switch. He's got a changeable thumb there to get the same feel from ball to ball. Lots of bowlers use that. I use turbo switch grip myself. I believe you do the same as well. So harder surface bowling ball, nice and flat to that 10 pin. No problem covering it up. Just got that going. Keep himself within 1 pin of our leader, Dan Dahlman. That's assuming that Dan, of course, strikes in the next frame.
Mm-hmm.
So you see when we put those scores up there, it always assumes that the bowler that's in the lead is going to at least get 10 pins on their first ball the next frame.
At least.
So whether it continues a string of strikes or on a spare. Look at him just come up through that ball, and how about that 10 back? Wow. I'll tell you what, I've seen Kyle bowl since he was probably about 9 years old, and his physical game has really taken off since he's about 12. He's had the same basic physical game, even as he's grown taller and stronger, and his mental game has really been sharp the last couple of seasons.
Well, and that's so important with junior bowlers, is getting the mental to catch up with the physical.
And right there, I think a little too fast on everything there for Dan. He was kind of getting up on the approach, and it's like he knows he's on a double, he knows he's in the lead, and he's still learning everything. I mean,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, middle school bowling is becoming really big around the area. You know, some teams like Franklin, the Franklin School District, starting middle school bowling, just getting it going. So you're getting some of these kids that have a couple of years of competition against other schools under their belts before they're getting to the high school program now. So I know in the Waukesha area, Waukesha West is really big for that. Sunset Bowl, I believe last year had 3 teams for middle school bowling. McGuanago as well, the McGuanago School District at Jays Lanes had a couple. So
unbelievable how that program has taken off, and I mean it's just a testament to everybody involved with the high school, the middle school program, BCAW, everybody that's really contributed to getting that off the ground.
Yeah, and making sure the kids get in the sport early and stay in the sport early, and no break there. The trip out the 4 and the 7 just leaves the 4.
That one took off just a little bit more. I don't know if he hit it a little bit harder at the bottom of the swing, was a little slower, but that one definitely jumped harder than the ones previous.
Coney in his free time, he's a cadet EMT for the Elkhart Lake Glen Beulah Fire Department. So still got relatives up that way, so I know you got a nice young man like Cody protecting you. Members of the Anhall family that are up there, my mom's side of the family. So visited Anchor Lanes a few times when I was a young one. We were up in that neck of the woods. Very nice center.
Remember when I was coaching high school, we coached Pius, the 11th high school, before they had District 1, and we had to travel all up to what is District 7 right now. So, yeah, familiar with Anchor Lanes that way as well.
Nice little 12-lane center, well kept, well maintained. See if Nick can maintain that strike there. And
there we go.
Nicely done. Even though he got a little up on the toes on that shot with it.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
You see these bowlers sometimes try giving a little bit extra, and when they do that, instead of going up with the body, sometimes you see the body go forward and they get up on the toes. And one of these times I'm expecting the bowler to just kind of follow with an extra step.
Right.
Or a little too far on the slide. You don't let that rubber heel on your bowling sole do its work. You'll keep sliding for sure. Kyle here looking to get back on the strike train and gets himself a nice 3-bagger with that 4th frame, maintaining a lead. He's going to have at least an 11-pin lead on the field here. And once again, all these bowlers bowling for 1st through 4th place from their positioning in this game. Let's see what Dan here can do. Bounce back off of that 6-10 last frame. Looks good out of his hand. Hey, how about that? A nice strike getting into the commercial break. 6 more frames of competition here for Motion Plus Lanes for the boys finals of the Top Gun Invitational of the 2014 edition. Join Chad Source and I back here for Motion Plus in just a moment.
Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com. Stay where champions stay, the Sheraton Milwaukee Brookfield Hotel. call 262-364-1100 to get the special state tournament rate of $77 per night. Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mountain Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee. Four frames in the books. Kyle Zagar in the lead here at Motion Plus Lanes, and some of the Sussex Hamilton bowlers there cheering him on. And I just saw Alyssa Athas, our Top Gun winner from last season, when we were at Sherwood High School, in the crowd. And she won. She was in the field this year, got eliminated in the semi-final round before TV. She had a good showing today. Just missing the show. Cody Schmidt from Elkhart Lake looking to get that 710 out of here. That'll teach it to try to stand.
Nice break right there.
That is some power. Watch that ball. Head pin off the sideboard. 5-pin barely taking the 7 out. We've done that once or twice in our life, Chad, haven't we?
I don't know.
I've done it where I've taken one or the other.
Yeah,
I've
that's
never
usually
taken both.
that's usually what happens with me as well.
So Nick Hagen looking to get up here, strike, and keep himself within a mark of our leader, Kyle Zagar, as well. A little tough keeping track of all these scores as things change around, and once again we find the hang on lane 9. And he really, once again, we saw it in his last shot before the commercial break. A little quick, a little up on his toes, and that time didn't get all of it on the ball. Gets to the little right, and it's not coming back on lane 9. And
Nope.
50-50 chance we usually save for washouts on our Youth Challenge Series shows and our Top Gun show here today. I got to give him about the same odds. Quality player, but it's tough to make under the TV lights. And it took a unique way trying to hook at it.
Yeah, I don't know if he was thinking he was going to have the head pin come off the left wall, or if he just didn't make it. It was almost like it hung on that shot as well.
So goes from being right behind Kyle Zagar to letting Kyle possibly get at least a 20-plus pin lead here against the competition if he can strike in frame number 5. So Kyle, we saw with his brother Ryan's girlfriend Katie Zwiefelhofer here at the FM Auto Mixed Doubles Tournament earlier this season, and we saw Kyle have problems on lane 9 during that event, and right there he gets it a little right on that shot, and we see it bite for him through the face. Yeah. So a little different reaction on the left side of the lane. We see that sometimes. The right side doesn't hook as much. The left side will hook more.
And I tell you, this is a split that you see so much more frequently now than you did 15, 20 years ago. That in this case, the 2-4, 6, 7, 10 are on the right side, the 3-6.
And not a good choice only taking 2 there, whether he was trying to go for it or not, because you're working on a double. 2 equals 4, and you just hope it doesn't bite him later on in the match with as tight as all the competition is right now. Dan Dahlman working on a strike in frame number 4. Get himself another double here, just like he started this afternoon. And wow. And that's what happens sometimes when you get a little early elbow roll, takes the wrist over the top, and they get a little spinny with the release. And it doesn't take much when you're not a high rev player to leave that 8-10.
And especially, with the conditions that you have out there, it just lends itself to leaving stuff like this. If you're not really precise with the release.
Yeah, you gotta remember, Dan, a young player, he hasn't been bowling for that long, has he, Chad? Like BioCard, he says started at age
9,
so
6 years.
Yeah, and he's just getting his strength, learning the physical game, and you see that a lot with younger players.
Oh, sure.
Male and female. They try to help the ball, turn the ball, and then turning the elbow early. Popular term is chicken winging.
Chicken wing, yep.
And then takes the wrist over the top of the ball, and they get very spinny with it. And I'm sure you still have college players you have to break.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we see that all the time. They think, like you said, they have to help the ball to the pocket instead of just letting the ball work. Kind of like that, but that one worked a little too much.
Oh, yeah, that one really grabbed the lane a little bit early. And this pattern, 41 feet in length, and even the young ladies, they were throwing some pretty aggressive shell bowling balls. They can take some of that oil away from the end of the pattern early, and then next thing you know, the balls start reading a foot or so sooner.
Well, and I think that's one thing that everybody overlooks is every time you throw a ball down the lane, it changes the oil pattern. 1 time, 10 times, a lot of people think, well, the pattern's going to hold up, but every time you throw one of these aggressive balls, it changes the geometry, or not the geometry, the topography of the lane pattern.
Well, right now, everybody within 4 pins of each other through 5 frames. We saw in the girls' match, we saw Stephanie and Brittany run away with it a little bit from the other 2 competitors. Right now, anybody's ball game and nobody working on a string of anything here. And Nick there, another shot, a little more in control, gets himself just the 4 pin. But once again, for him, lane 10 hooking a little bit more, so now it could be getting actually 2 to 3 boards difference between each lane, and he'll have to make that adjustment very quickly with only 4 frames left after this one.
Well, I think you pointed it out very well that the lanes are definitely playing different, and we've seen 2 shots in a row now take off on lane 10. So we'll see what our other 2 bowlers do to make an adjustment off of that.
A little bit of a baby hook at that 4 pin, no problem covering it up, and we'd expect him to. I mean, when you fill your frames at about a 92% clip this year in high school competition for Nick, you're going to expect to see, you're not going to see many single pins missed by him. 92% fill percentage, if they're missing anything, they're missing 2, 4, 5s,
right,
combinations of that nature. Well, Kyle's got to bounce back off that big 5 and 2 last frame. That cost him quite a few pins a count. And the vapor trail didn't suck the 7 pin out, really? Wow.
Great shot by Kyle.
And a way to bounce back after making a pretty errant shot the frame before. Watch the revs on that ball. Hardly any deflection. 4 pin just touches the 7 around the neck on the way by. Would have hit that 7 pin another inch lower, would have knocked it over.
Yep.
So maybe we need to make a new rule. Pins need to be straight up and down. That could be our rule. They'd fall really funny then, though. You wouldn't get any of the messengers. They kind of stop, hit the brakes. Well, Dan Dahlman here looking to bounce off and open as well. Last frame. Forget you had that 8-10. Get that back out there. Get that hand behind the ball. That's up and through it a lot nicer.
There we go.
That's the difference right there. Stayed strong with that elbow and wrist position. And he's not a high rev player, but it's all about that strong roll into the pocket. So watch that replay. No deflection, chugging right through the hole.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that it's great to see the different styles of players we have in this final here. That everybody doesn't have to have 450 revs on the ball in order to be successful.
Cody looking to get that big strike, keep himself in this match. Does it without a problem there. Makes it look like he does it on every shot.
Right.
So he's got that lane figured out, lane 9. He's got to figure out his struggles on lane 10 here. Get himself, hopefully, a victory once again to Deviate Bowling Ball. Championship medal, thanks to our friends at Trophy Athletic, who provides us with all of our awards for our U Challenge Series and high school telecasts. And a $50 Visa gift card courtesy of Motion Plus Lanes. And yes, youth bowlers can receive gift cards. It is within USBC Rule 400, they call it. Mm-hmm. So any merchandise awards up to $500 in value are acceptable. And I'm sure Nick would like to accept that at the end of the day, too.
Especially if he makes a few more shots like that.
No doubt. 9 pin falls out last. Kyle here looking to strike for the first time in a couple of shots. Make that adjustment after leaving the split. Definitely much farther left. And
wow.
I know he could have knocked 30 pins down with that shot. No doubt about that. Holy cow. Just takes 10 straight back. Nothing like, don't even need a broom on the pin deck.
Nope.
For any shrapnel. Just sucked it right in after it. Well, Dan here looking to get a double. Keep himself in with the rest of the field. He kind of a little flippy with that one on the bottom.
Yeah, he did.
And you'll see that sometimes with bowlers, they try to guide the ball down in their push away, and when they make that guide, it slows all their other tempo up until they try to get down on the shot. Next thing you know, Chad, and you see that a lot of times in college matches, when the bowlers know the pressure's on, they try to fit something. It starts in the push away.
And we always say that all your timing comes from your first step and your push away, and if it's off there, a lot of bad things are going to happen.
Much better on that spare attempt. Covers it up nicely to get into our last commercial break of the day. Join us back from Motion Plus Lanes, the last 3 frames of this Top Gun Invitational in just a moment. Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973.
Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com. Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com. With 24 state-of-the-art lanes, plenty of pool tables and dartboards, and great food and drink at Sporty's Bar and Grill, Sunset Bowl in Waukesha is your #1 place for fun. Well, you can see the crowd here earlier today here at Motion Plus Lanes for the Top Gun Invitational, right when we got things started. And of course, who's got a photo bomb but the owner here, Kerry Catania, always got to make his way into a shot here.
But it's good to see having fun when we bowl. Sometimes we take it a little too seriously, and it's just good to see somebody, hamming it up for the crowd and getting everybody laughing and just reminding them to have fun when you bowl.
Absolutely. Well, with 3 frames to go here, tell you what, anybody's ball game. Cody Schmidt from Elkhart Lake making sure he has his hat in the ring with a great strike there in the 8th frame. Keeping himself up by 10 pins over Kyle Zager, but Kyle can get that back when he's up if he throws a strike.
This format, this game right here really shows why this format is so popular right now. When you see it on the PBA level and your tournaments, it keeps everybody involved, and you never know what's going to happen from frame to frame.
Nick Hagen looking to get his double here in the 8th frame, keep himself within 4 pins. Junior out of Sussex Hamilton. Nice out of his hand, and 10 back.
Oh, this is shaping up to be a great finish right now.
And it was a 2-horse race in the ladies finals with Stephanie Schwartz and Brittany Burgess down to that 10th frame. Right now, 4 bowlers all still in it with 2.5 frames to go, and Kyle Zager has been real solid on this on this right lane, lane 10. His only issue was that big split in the 5th frame. And boy, if he had an extra pin in the 5th frame, he'd actually have the lead right now with that strike instead of being tied with Cody Schmidt.
It's just amazing to see at their age the power that these bowlers generate compared to juniors from 20, 30 years ago. That the game has evolved just so much.
Yeah. I mean, right now, Cody and Kyle's maximum score is 239. Nick can get 235. Daniel Dahlman can still be in the 220s. One of the other 3 bowlers makes a mistake and Dan can strike out. He's got a chance, but unfortunately for him, wow, that was just a dead pull left for Dan.
Just a little bit left. I mean, it's getting late in the game. You've already had the women bowling their complete match, so the lanes are going to start breaking down just a little bit.
And not an easy lead for a right-hander to make.
No, not at all.
I mean, for us lefties, we're shooting at 3-9s all the time. That's not a problem, but you see it a lot with 3-9-10, 3-6-9-10 combinations, and they talk about it on the Pro Tour. That's about a 60% spare conversion rate. I'd have to say it's about the same for this for Daniel. And
yeah, there it goes.
And that's the easiest thing to do because you have to get the ball into the oil that's still on the outside of the lane on this type of pattern and get it to hook back and take both pins, Chad. And you see it a lot in college tournaments. You see a lot of pulls left on those type of shots.
Oh, sure, because you want to make sure it gets to the pins because there's an out of bounds to the right. So if you send it to the right, you risk just clipping the 3 on the right and not making the 9. So there's a bunch of ways to miss that one.
Cody Schmidt looking to keep himself in the lead here if he can get another strike. And how about that? A big 3 in a row for Cody to keep himself in the lead. Can't get eliminated before the 10th frame no matter what Kyle Zager does.
That's right.
239 maximum for Cody and Kyle. And I can't quite get to Brittany Burgess's 254 game, but I'll tell you what, they're all throwing it quite well right now. And in a format like this, when you're bowling against 3 other bowlers at the same time, 1 errant shot can get you behind in a hurry. See what Nick can do here in his 9th frame. That needs some help, and once again, that hang spot in lane 9 comes into play.
Yeah, it looked pretty decent off his hand. He probably only missed it by a board or 2 to the right, but that's all it took just to not make the corner.
And probably with a house pattern, if they use the house pattern here at Motion Plus, it's not the highest scoring house pattern I've seen around, but with less oil on the outside of the lane, that ball probably would have came back and struck for him.
Absolutely.
So it just shows you the difference, even without a super tough pattern. I mean, Pro Tour ratios are 3-to-1 or less from inside to outside. This is about 4-to-1 with Kegel's beaten path pattern. It doesn't take much oil to make the ball do things you don't see in league. And a great conversion there by Nick.
Very good. Yeah, I was actually worried it was going to overhook for a little bit there and take the 2-pin off the 8, but it held and knocked both of them out.
Well, let's see what Kyle Zager can do here. He's seen his brother in plenty of pressure situations himself on our Youth Challenge Series telecasts over the years. Kyle's made more than I can even remember to count here. At least 15 of them. And he's won 6 youth challenge titles. Kyle's still looking for his first one. Nice out of his hand, and boy, if we could have grown up throwing the ball like that, Chad, from the left side, I'll tell you what.
We probably wouldn't be here right now doing this. We'd be the ones bowling.
Exactly. Another great shot by Kyle, and keeps himself tied. We could have a roll-off here. I mean, it's easily if Kyle and Cody tie, single ball roll-offs, just like you see on the PBA Tour. So that's the ultimate in pressure right there, knowing you need to get them all down in one shot. And a great bounce-back shot by Dan there after that open. May not be able to get himself back in first place, but still can crawl around Nick for third if Nick runs into a little trouble in the 10th frame.
Well, and you definitely, I mentioned it in the girls' match, you definitely like to see this out of bowlers to where they know they're struggling, and you know some other guys are having some success, but they don't give up. They just keep clawing back as much as they can.
You see right there Cody making a little move to the left. He looked down, moved about a half a board with his feet to the left to try to keep the ball in the pocket, and almost too big of a move there.
Good reaction out of him too. I really like the emotion he showed after the shot.
I mean, you watch that ball react on the back end, and that could have been a 2-8-10.
Yeah, very easily.
If he would have made any bigger of a move than that half board with his feet on the approach. Well, basically right now, whatever Cody does in the 10th frame, Kyle can match the tie or beat out by a stick to win. Big shot here for Cody, because that would definitely force Kyle to double and pretty much lock up no worse than second place for him. Great out of his hand, but
a little high.
Yeah. Just didn't quite project it to the right like he did on his last shot.
Well, and it could have been he saw how the ball reacted on the first shot and made sure that he kept it a little tighter and kept it a little too tight. Still a pretty decent shot. He could have kicked the 4 out pretty easily, but it stood. Just got to run this down, and we'll see what Kyle does.
Exactly. I mean, no matter what, it's going to force Kyle to go a double to win.
Right.
Strike 9 spare would be a tie. Strike 8 or less, and Cody Schmidt would be your Top Gun Invitational champion for 2014. Nick Hogger right now just making sure he can keep himself into basically third place he's looking at right now. Even with an open, Kyle would still stay ahead of him. Looking to get his second double of the match, the high hard one, and not going to happen. The old 4-6-10. That's a tough one to take. So if he gets 2 here, he's going to finish at 189. Still lets Dan Dahlman have a chance to pass him if Dan can get the first strike in the 10th in good count. So third place, not necessarily locked up for Nick with this open in the 10th. And you know, this is probably the only way he left opens all year during district competition. I mean, with an over 92% fill percentage, as we talked about earlier, you're not missing single pins.
Nope, not at all. And that's what you really like to see out of a player, you know, at the high school level, college level, wherever. You know, if you're making spares, your average reflects it, your high scores reflect it, everything. It comes off of making spares.
Yeah, and Nick, only a junior, another year of high school bowling. Same thing for Kyle Zagar here, only a junior. There's going to be a lot of college coaches at those District 1 and District 3A meets next season checking these bowlers out. No doubt about that. I'm sure you're one of them, Chad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll be around.
Needs to get this first one for sure, and how about kicking it? Nicely done to kick that 7 out, and you know, the little emotion, the little fist pump you can see right now. Calming himself down, going back, getting a sip of water. Well, he knows the job's far from done yet. One bad shot here, and it's all over. You make the shot of your life, you're going to walk away as 2014 Top Gun Invitational champion.
When you can see he goes through his same routine, and you really like to see that. That shows the maturity of their mental game. As they come back, they reset themselves the exact same way. You can't even tell the pressure's on him right now.
Yeah, he did not make a move on the approach on that shot, staying where he's at. Nice out of his hand, and
oh wow. Well, and not only that, I mean, it's a double whammy. Not only did he leave it when it looked like a really good shot, he's got to make this to tie.
And get to that single ball roll off. Watch that head pin come back across, and actually it got blocked by the 5 pin. It was heading right towards the 7, but it got blocked and bumped away, pushed forward by the 5, and didn't get a chance to get over there. And there's the maturity. When you know it out of your hand, that's the maturity level you're looking for out of a bowler, especially at the high school range. So definitely going to get Cody and Kyle into that roll-off. If Dan Dahlman here can get himself a strike, he's going to move into third place, bump himself up in the prize list. So he knows this is a big shot right here. Nobody wants to finish in 4th place on TV. Nice out of his hand, and can't throw it better.
That was a great shot right there.
Yeah, and he's only a freshman. That's the best part.
That's the amazing thing. It shows the strength of our game right now, where a lot of people are looking at the doom and gloom. Here's the positive part of bowling right now, and I wish a lot of more people would see it.
Yeah. I mean, Dan's only real mistakes is he got a little spinning with the release back in the 5th frame. He left that 8-10. You know, that's something as he gets a little bit stronger and bowls more, he's not going to have that type of release anymore. And in the 8th frame, he had that pull, and who shoots at a 3-9 when the right-handed very often?
Yeah, very right, yeah.
Ring 10. Well, he's already got 191 in the bag. With the spare here, he'd have 192. He's passed Nick Hagen for 3rd place here at the Top Gun Invitational, but we still have to decide 1st and 2nd, and no favorite going in.
No.
You know, Kyle and Cody matched each other ball for ball from the 7th frame on. So it's going to be exciting. At least one ball roll off. If they strike and keep tying, we keep moving on. So we're going to take a quick commercial break here. We're going to get back to that roll off between Cody Schmidt and Kyle Zagar and figure out who our 2014 Top Gun Invitational champion is in just one moment.
Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from FM Auto. Is your car ready for winter? If not, bring your vehicle in and have my staff here look your vehicle over, make sure you're not going to get caught out in the cold. Set up your appointment today at 414-455-8750. You won't be disappointed.
Well, 10 frames in the books here at Motion Plus Lanes for the 2014 Top Gun Invitational, and it's not enough frames, Chad. We got ourselves a single ball roll-off between Cody Schmidt and Kyle Zagar.
Yeah, I mean, they want to stick around and bowl more. We're going to stick around and talk about them more.
Exactly. They're going to start on the right lane where they bowled their 10th frame. If they tie again, we'll move them over to the left lane, have them throw another shot, and keep going until the tie is broken. So, Cody still kind of looking at colleges. He's a senior, hasn't committed yet. So I know he's talked to you and other coaches, but really he's dreaming about being an EMT for his career.
And I don't think anybody would blame him if that's what he decided to do for his career.
And that ball needs a little bit of an ambulance right there, because that was just wow.
Yeah, this is a different situation for all these bowlers. You know, you have a game of 10 frames where you can cover yourself up if you have a bad frame, but here it's all or nothing. It's one shot, you're done.
I mean, by far the worst shot Cody had on the TV show so far today, and he knew it out of his hand, hoping for a break to knock a couple of pins down, maybe just leave a single pin.
Right.
No such luck. You see the dejection as he walks away, and Kyle's just got to be licking his chops. I mean, put it in the pocket, you're a winner.
And that's exactly what I was going to say, Phil, is that's got to be his mentality now, is throw a good shot, put it in the hole. It doesn't matter if you leave a 7-pin or not.
Same setup, same on the approach, just a tad high, and nine's enough,
That's all
Chad.
you need. That's all you need right there.
How about that? Exciting roll-off. Kyle Zagar takes it 9-7 in that single ball roll-off to become the 2014 Top Gun Invitational champion. Chad Sarsen will be back from Motion Plus Lanes in just a couple of minutes, and we'll wrap up the entire show for you.
Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com. Stay where champions stay, the Sheraton Milwaukee Brookfield Hotel. Call 262-364-1100 to get the special state tournament rate of $77 per night. I have a lot of viewers that ask me, why do you have so many of your tournaments at Castle Lanes? Well, Castle Lanes is a center that has an exceptional atmosphere.
the charm of being in the Northwoods cabin while you bowl, an attentive staff on the lanes and in the lounge, all the big screen TVs and a free Wi-Fi hotspot, and being named in Bowler's Journal as one of the 95 places to bowl before you die, you have to bowl at Castle Lanes. That's why we love Castle Lanes, and you will too.
Well, Chad, both matches for the Top Gun Invitational today, down to the 10th frame. Girls Championship, Stephanie Schwartz and Brittany Burgess, down to literally the last ball for Brittany. And then the boys roll off. You can't ask for anything better because tie game and then going to that single ball tiebreaker.
No, I mean, the match has definitely lived up to the hype, what we thought was going to happen, and coming down to the 10th frame, that's exactly what you want. We don't like to see blowouts. We don't like to see those games where it's already decided by the 5th frame, so this was absolutely what I was hoping for, and it delivered.
With that, Brittany Burgess, the final act, is our girls champion for the 2014 Top Gun Invitational. Kyle Zagar and Kenosha Bradford, our boys champion. Both of them taking home a DV8 bowling ball, championship medal, and a $50 Visa gift card, courtesy of Motion Plus Lanes. Chad, a lot more bowling come up here at Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Our next tournament, the Over 40 Shootout from Sunset Bowl, a bowling center you're very familiar with at Sunset.
Absolutely, yeah. Great center, great owner out there. I bet you it's going to be a lot of fun.
And you've had a couple of 800s there, haven't you?
I've been known to throw a couple of strikes there, so yeah.
Yeah, one of your favorites. Maybe we'll see Chad on TV, you never know. So for my friend Chad Soros, head coach of the UWM Panther men's and women's bowling programs, I'm Phil Bridwell, and parents, take the kids bowling, they'll have fun for life. We'll see you next time from Sunset Bowl in Waukesha.